5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that made your top 5?
It did. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the top 5 of 23 coming up next. But first, Sisu, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Tetris, Fast 10, D&D, Honor Among Thieves, Air, Super Mario Brothers, John Wick 4, Ant-Man 3, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, The Machine, Across the Spider-Verse, The Flash, Asteroid City, Sound of Freedom, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, Blue Beetle, Fright Night, Gran Turismo, Equalizer 3 are just a few of the movies we did in 23.
It was a crazy year.
We're going downtown.
It was. That's just like a handful.
I mean, that was like 2 hands and some feet.
So it's time to do it.
Yeah.
The top 5 of 23.
Let's do it. So my top 5, or my number 5 of my top 5, is one that I just felt obligated. Plus, I did really enjoy the film. Oh, well, here's the thing, is that it could have definitely switched with another one that I was surprised it didn't make my list. Oppenheimer did not.
Okay. That is surprising.
Yeah, I really love that film. But Dungeons and Dragons is my number 5 pick. I just found so much joy in this film.
Something tells me that's not on my top 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. So we had talked about, are we doing honorable mentions? And I was like, I don't think we did it last year. But I really liked this movie and want it to be mentioned on this list. Because it was fun. It was different. I did like the actor chemistry. Cinematography didn't throw me off because I'm just a young man who can't see.
Clearly.
And I just thought it was a fun film to watch. And it's definitely one I'll be watching throughout the years.
So I did, I told you I watched it on a plane on a small, 10 by 10 or whatever those little things are. Not 10 by 10. But,
perfect for any movie watching.
And it did better
Yeah.
on the small screen. As I said, I believe in the original
You sure did.
I said, I think this probably will view better on a small screen.
And you know what else you probably didn't get on the small screen? The nice prelude of, oh, thank you so much for coming to watch Dungeons and Dragons.
Nonsense.
This film was such a collaboration to make, and it would be nothing without you, the viewer. And so, from all of us here, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you watching this.
Yeah, you almost got it right.
Well, then I was going to decide as my character within Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. So my honorable mention in this spot is Sisu.
Okay.
Because I don't think that's going to get in the top 5.
Oh, sure it's not.
But it was an interesting, I had a lot of negative things to say, and I still do about it, but it was an interesting take on filmmaking, and things like that. Very unrealistic things. But it was just an interesting take on some of it that I'll have to give it a little bit of a prop for. But
that one's what I'd be interested in if I didn't know. It's like, because that one was the big thing, was from the producers of John Wick 3.
What did you imagine?
We bring you Sisu.
Yeah.
Like, if I hadn't known that, like, it would have been interesting to see my output. And again, you can say like, oh, you shouldn't take that into consideration, or like, you should be able to separate that when you're watching the film. But honestly, like, the trailers are getting you set up of like, you should have these feelings because of this.
yes.
So
Absolutely. This was a tough one for me though. The number 5, I'm a little bit shocked that it's only 5, but it is Oppenheimer.
yeah.
I love history.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job with how it was Oppenheimer's perspective.
Yeah.
They did the trial,
Yeah.
or the commission or whatever they called that thing, and Robert Downey Jr. did a phenomenal
Crushed it.
job.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you did on all of them. Crushed it.
Yeah.
And so
The CGI. Or the lack of CGI.
the lack of, which is also nice. They did the black and white thing
Yep.
very well. Obviously, they showed that's whose perspective it was. And so that's my 5. There's a lot of good things to say about it. There's some negative things to say about it, but
Yeah.
that's 5 for
That
me.
was definitely the one that was surprised to not hit my list.
Yeah.
Because it is a great film. But when I was looking at this list, it was too like, how many of these movies am I going to watch again? Oppenheimer, you have to be really in the right mood to be able to watch that again.
You do, yeah. I don't know that I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
Maybe like I'm like I have the flu or something.
That's right. That's
I
right.
don't know.
Number 4 for me was Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Okay.
This is probably my favorite action film of the year. I really liked how they did the story, the story was always moving, and it was really tight. I mean, it was a long film, but I think it was like 3 hours, but it felt like 2 hours, which to me is always a good time.
Yeah.
Watched this one twice already this year.
Oh wow.
Because when I first watched it, I had to watch it without Megan.
Sure.
And so then we purchased it and then watched it with Megan. And I was like, Megan, I'm so excited for you to watch this. It's like I got her expectation probably higher, but then she also was like, man, I love this film too.
Yeah.
This was probably to me like out of all if the box office did not show how great the film was. And so to me, this is like,
good
if I were
point.
to give a shout out to like any film of like, it's better than what the audience or what the box office is giving credit for, that's going to be Mission Impossible to me. Because it was so much fun. It was semi-realistic too with some of the AI stuff going on. And so yeah, that's my number 4.
Nice. So my number 4 is between 2 films, and I really am I really had struggled with how to rate these,
Quit smiling, you idiot. You're supposed to be a professional.
but just probably I'm gonna have to say that number 4, it got to number 4 because it was not realistic,
Okay.
and my number 3 got to number 3 because it's more realistic, right?
Okay.
So because the films to me were equally entertaining in a sense, but it's Fast 10.
Oh, that made your top 5?
It did.
Really?
Just because I know. Just because I really, since the very beginning, have loved the series.
See, this is
Loved
where we
that
can
whole
fight.
World.
You're
Yeah.
wrong.
I'll
agree with you that it's not realistic.
But it's something that I could put on any time and be just entertained. I did not care for some of the specific characters in it. We
Jason
talked about
Momoa.
that. Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I thought that was terrible. There's a lot of things in retrospect that, I just have such an emotional attachment to this franchise.
Yeah.
And so that just got it for me. I mean, it's
Fair.
like you would say so early on, like I'm too emotionally detached.
Oh,
Essentially.
yeah.
And
No,
so
you've got
this
more
is-
emotional.
This is definitely an emotional attachment.
Yeah.
Because I was there at the beginning. Like
Yeah.
I love cars.
Yeah.
I love what they can do.
Yeah.
It's weird some of the things that they have
Have done.
taken it to.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a movie I could go to every time and get sick of some of the parts, but a lot of them I would like.
We even got the cup still.
Got something right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a surprise.
I was surprised too. Like I was going through the list and I'm like, it just kept pulling on me.
Oh,
I'm like, all right,
I got you.
All right.
'Tis the season.
Yeah.
All right, number 3 is aptly placed for Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
I thought that would be higher for you.
My top 2 are just...
I see people that are watching and listening. I need to say this right here. We did not share our lists at all.
No.
Like, this is a surprise to each of us.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. So, yeah.
I did really enjoy it. The 2 that are above this, I just think they did some stuff cinematically and better. But I thought it was a great way to end the trilogy. I love the music. I love the characters. I love the actors. It's one of the best trilogies, in my
Yes.
opinion,
Yes.
that I've ever seen.
Yes. This did, I think 3 for me was better than 2.
Yep.
Pretty significantly.
Yep. But the hard part is the Marvel effect too. And so when it comes back to going and watching the film, like I always feel like Guardians of the 1 is so good. That's the one I'm probably going to repeat and watch.
Yeah.
Guardians of 3 is super good as well. The dog days are over. Like that's now on my playlist, is because I enjoyed the song before the movie came out, but I was like, oh man, I forgot how much I enjoyed this song.
Yeah.
And then we have all dogs, so I was like, oh, this is just so perfect. I wish someone would have died at the end.
And they really portrayed that's what was happening in the trailers, and,
Right.
and
the end of the trilogy. And again, that's just not the morbid side to me. It just would have made sense to take someone out. So I wish they would have done that. But overall, just a phenomenal film. It was fun to watch. The cinematics were fun. The colors were fun. And it's a great film.
Yeah. So the Equalizer 3
Yeah.
did the 3 spot.
I'm intrigued. We're going to have very different lists.
So yeah, and it's another emotional attachment.
Yeah.
I mean, truly. I
is.
mean, I'm not going to even say that it's not, because growing up, I watched that on TV.
Yeah.
Not a ton.
Right.
But, I watched it on TV, and it was called Spencer for Hire,
Okay.
I believe, not the Equalizer, or
Right.
something like that, wasn't it? I don't remember. My brain's fried, but maybe I'm mixing it up, but I remember they had just really fun, unique characters, and he would come in and equalize the situation, literally. So that was really fun. And as a kid, I was like, that's so important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as a little kid, you're being taught the right and wrong, and
Right.
And I'm like, what he does is so important.
Yeah. Right.
So the Equalizer, movie franchise now is an emotional attachment, and I love Denzel.
It's hard to go wrong with that.
It is, and he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
He's an honest guy. I mean, he tells it like it is, I should say.
And he's a fun character. Like, his character is fun to watch.
And what really sold me on this, on 3 especially, 2 was okay. Equalizer 2 was okay. The first one was great.
Mm-hmm.
But what sold me on this is the only character that Denzel Washington has played multiple times.
Right.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
Nuts.
So that's my 3rd spot.
I really don't think we're going to have any matching.
No,
unless
I don't
I'm
think
really
we are.
surprised at this end. Number 2 to me was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I figured it was in there.
Yep. I told you before with Guardians of the Out, cinematically, this is one of the most crazy films to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Even the first one was crazy and fun to see. And I think Sony has something going. I hope they keep it with just a trilogy and they don't try to... I would like to see more movies like this. There was Teenage Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah, they tried.
They tried. It was not as good as what they did with Spider-Man. And to me, we're talking about polarization of, like, when you see perfection and then someone tries to replicate it and it's not as good, it just tastes bitter.
Yes.
And to me, I think they nailed what they wanted to do with the Spider-Verse. And it was cool to see the webs. I mean, even with the Marvel effect, they're doing the multiverse and they're not doing it well. So to see what they could do with this film was incredible. And I'm excited to see what the next movie brings.
I still don't think they did it really well, the multiverse thing.
No.
I don't care for the multiverse thing very
It's
much.
hard. It's a hard story to tell.
It is. Well, it's an easy story to tell because it doesn't have to be congruent at all.
Well,
so you can
to make it intriguing and buy-in, it's incredibly hard to do.
Well,
if not impossible.
Right. But there's very few that have really done that.
No, I don't even think I can name any that deal with the multiverse well.
I think Doctor Who over the years, from a TV show.
Is that a multiverse thing?
Oh yeah, they have different. Like Rose is in a different universe altogether.
Oh,
they
you're right.
Those crossovers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
They did that, so it worked.
Yeah.
Made sense. Most of it. They had the crack.
Oh yeah.
In the time.
Yeah. Time vortex.
So there's some of that. exactly, timey-wimey. So there's that. But yeah, no, I not shocked at all that's where you're at. So, you ready?
Are we ready for first matching?
Barbie. No.
I was like, all right, dude.
That look on your face.
You had me you had me with Fast 10. You had me with Equalizer 3. Barbie would have been a stretching point. I'm like, nope. This is a fake list. This is not real.
Okay, Mission Impossible.
There it is.
Is my 2.
That's what my gut was telling me. It was going to be your number 2.
Yeah. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. We know that it's a 2-part, but they did it so it was like, I don't necessarily need to see the second part. I would like to.
Yeah.
But I don't need to. Yeah. Right? They told the story well enough that it works.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
Fast 10.
Yeah, exactly. From a story,
I know.
If you're looking at like the story, yeah, I mean it doesn't work.
Sorry, we told we got to fight more, and I will fight you right now.
right.
Those are some big guns.
So it was look, you have an actor, Tom Cruise. He's probably one of the very few, if not like the last true like movie star.
Yeah.
Where he does his thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
even down to the
motorcycle
stunts.
stunt. Yeah. He did that 6 times in one day.
They started that. I think they did those shots first too.
Really?
Yeah.
In case he died or what?
Yeah, apparently. Which then I was talking to a friend about that, and I was like, well, that makes no sense, because why wouldn't you want to film the rest of it? And then in case if he dies, at least maybe they got one shot.
Well, maybe that's why they wanted. If he died,
right.
they can hire somebody else.
That's right.
Instead of do what they did and fast
them off of AI. Yeah.
Yeah. So they introduced some new people. I think that will probably carry on the franchise, in my opinion.
Carry on my
that's the Mission Impossibles. You just can't go wrong with them. You just can't.
No, Tom Cruise knows what he wants out of them.
Yeah.
And
like him or hate him, I don't think, like I said, Denzel, he's a good guy. I really believe that. You see interactions that he has.
Tom Cruise is a crazy guy. Yeah.
He's just not.
But he knows how to make films.
Yes, absolutely. His art, he's good at his art. Yeah.
Number 1. Super Mario Brothers movie.
I wonder if we'll match.
I think Mission Impossible is the only one we're going to match on. I love this film, down to the music, to when the first release, and it talked about the different voice actors that were going to play the parts, with like Chris Pratt, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, and everything else like that. I was like, there's no way this is going to make any sense. It's going to be like the previous Super Mario Brothers movie that's just going to flop and be awful. Illumination did a phenomenal job with the animation. Loved each world, was really intriguing to see, and they went to multiple worlds. The Mario Kart themes and everything else like that. They dealt with brotherly love versus we're a damsel in distress with Peach. And I think that was a way more interesting story arc to go with, especially since how the movie started with Brooklyn and their connection and everything else like that. And there were so many Easter eggs from the games. And so I was in absolute heaven. And I remember watching it with one of my best friends. And this is where the emotional part connects with me. And he and I went to college together, and we loved Nintendo. And so I loved being able to have the opportunity to watch it with him. And then our wives, who were not, they enjoyed it, but they were not nearly as entertained. And so, I just love this film. Way better than I thought it was going to be. I will say it's not the best movie of the year, but to me it was like one of the best experiences to be able to see it go on the big screen.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, that was fun. It was a fun film. So,
John Wick.
If you were a betting man, is it Super Mario Brothers that we are a match?
No, my guess is John Wick 4.
You got it. I'm a classic, old school.
Yeah.
Shoot 'em up.
Shoot 'em up.
This was very, very unrealistic,
Oh yeah,
but it was very, very fun.
it was.
And all the different stunts that they came up with, and
Yeah.
all the different gear that they kind of invented, essentially, was nuts.
The fun shots
But
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing front to back was just busy.
Yeah.
and it was tiring.
So much
busy,
death. Yeah.
right. So yeah, not the best film of the year,
Yeah.
but the best for me.
Life's been good to me.
This, if we're talking about
That we're
honorable
talking
mention, this
about.
would have been
Yeah,
John Wick 4 and Oppenheimer 2 are like, man, I forgot all these other films that came out too. And I was
Yeah.
like, I thought for sure these were going to be on my top 5, and they weren't.
yeah. I thought you'd have Ant-Man in there. I thought,
Or Quantumania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because, I thought maybe it would be 5, but
Oh, nope. That's Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah,
Honor Among the Thieves.
I thought maybe Shazam: Fury of the Gods would you'd talk about.
See, because last year we did
But-
any movie reviewed, and so we
Yes.
yeah, and so Shazam almost was a consideration too. That and Die Hard. I hadn't seen Die Hard.
Oh right, yeah.
Until
no,
this-
there was a lot of them
Yeah.
that were hard.
Yeah.
I looked at the whole thing.
Yeah,
But these are the ones that are for the year itself.
yeah. I'm happy that I was able to stick with the new films.
Sound of Freedom, I was debating on that being, honorable mention.
Yeah.
For sure, honorable mention, just because it was just a great, true story.
Absolutely.
The way they told it. But it just, as far as a film goes, it's just not in there.
No.
But still good to see. It's very disappointed in The Machine.
That one
You know,
was
that's
very
another
disappointing.
one that it was like, that was awful.
Yeah.
But
We watched it.
we did it.
We sure did.
Asteroid City was kind of a one that I wanted to say something about too, and that is I really, really enjoy when they actually do something different.
See, that would have been on my honorable mention too. I was like, man, I forgot how much I enjoyed it just because I've never watched. Who's the director?
I don't remember, but I don't think
Wes
either of
Anderson.
us. Yes.
Because that's his style. Because it gets made fun of quite frequently. I was like, I've never seen a movie like this, and it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. I think if they would have done it a little bit differently in the sense of telling the story a little bit faster,
Yeah.
they could have left everything else the same.
Yeah.
But just pick up the pace.
I mean,
It would have made a big difference.
they were talking pretty fast.
the scenes. No, Asteroid City.
Some of them, I believe so.
I thought those scenes to me were drawn out way too.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying they were talking fast during the scene.
Oh, sure.
But yes, they were drawn out.
Tetris was a sleeper.
Yeah.
You know,
that was so quirky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one I enjoyed more than I
Dun,
thought I
dun,
would.
dun,
So,
dun,
a
dun,
lot of
dun,
just
dun,
fun things. It's been a
dun,
fun
dun.
year,
Yeah.
and we've got an exciting year ahead of us.
We sure do.
Yeah, I'm very.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Well, we've got
Dune Part 2.
Silly Saturday.
Silly
is
Saturdays.
coming out.
Yeah.
Got some recordings of that done already. Well, they're not completely edited, but
Yeah.
so that's fun. That's in process. You're gonna let me review like horror movies with you a little bit. You said.
Yeah. Well, we have to argue
Fight?
about something.
So.
And I will
No.
gladly get my catheter out to talk about horror films. Just stick it in. I'm ready.
So yeah, 24 is gonna be a good year, other than the whole catheter thing.
And MILFs.
Oh, we can't forget about them.
No, and I'm surprised you did. I know how much you love your MILFs.
That is true. And you better stay tuned for that one, folks. Thanks a lot for watching, for listening. We appreciate your comments. Your
Concerns.
yeah, concerns is a good one. Yes, it is. What do we do next?
Well, it's not what we do, but if you would like to send us an email, you can do that at legitq@matty'smoviemix.com.
And we won't spam you or sell your email list or anything like that. It is just so that we are going to see the comment, because if it's on a comment on YouTube or whatever, it's hard to go through some of that stuff. So
Yes.
email goes right to me. It's
Yes.
great. I love it.
Love it. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. See you next year.